Welcome to another edition of Maritime Gateway Digital Dialogue. Today we have our guest, Mr. Bimal Kanal, who is the Director of Tradelens for South Asia. Mr. Bimal Kanal comes with a shipping career of almost 3 decades. He joined AP Marks in 2006, and till recently he was heading Safe Marine, the Director for South Asia. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Bimal Kanal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, Tradelens, as I understand, is an initiative, joint initiative of Maersk and IBM to provide blockchain platform to container trade. Just walk me through the journey of Tradelens from 2018 after inception. How is it doing?
So as you rightly said, that it's a joint venture between Maersk and IBM, and both Maersk and IBM have been closely associated with each other for many years, because IBM has many contracts, many projects with Maersk over the last 10, 20, 30 years. So they came together to build a platform which is industry for the industry. It is a neutral platform. It is not specifically only for Maersk. But somebody had to take the initiative, so Maersk took it along with IBM, and they have created this platform, which is operated by a company called GTT Solutions, Inc., which is a business unit inside Maersk. It's a separate business unit. So we'd like to keep it a little separate so that it works in an independent way. And it's a joint collaboration. It's a platform that has been created. It is being sold by GTD Solutions salespeople, by carrier salespeople. So, for example, right now, Maersk Sales is also promoting the platform, and also IBM Sales is also promoting the platform, both for clients, the paying clients, as well as for network development. So this is the background of the setup. My specific role in South Asia is to build the network. So I am dealing with port terminals, with Concor, with customs, so on and so forth, to build the ecosystem. And whereas Maersk Sales is involved in developing customers, so they go to the freight forwarders and to the BCOs and try and promote the benefits of the platform. So this is how we are promoting it in South Asia and in India in particular. So coming to your question about how are we doing? So 2018, when the platform was originally launched, of course, whenever a new concept is launched, it takes time. And I joined. I had a good opportunity of going for a meeting this year, January of 2020 in New Jersey, in the head office. So it had already been almost 2 years since the platform had started, and we could see the difference, from the time when we started to where we are today. Just to give you an example, we have more than 100 terminals onboarded all over the world. We have already recorded 8 million transactions on the platform, and we have more than 6 to 7 railway companies onboarded. More than 10 countries, customs have signed up with Tradelens. So the network is growing in a very rapid way. So basically now it's a matter of growing the network and coming up with the products. So we have 3 products. Basically, we call it Tradelens Core, where it gives the data visibility to the customer or to the network partner. And then on top of that, we have built the facility of moving documents digitally. So you can move e-bill of lading, you can move all the other documents that you need for export or import, be it certificate of origin or invoice or packing list or whatever is required to be moved. It can go as one integrated pouch along with a bill of lading from one entity to another with a click of a button. Just yesterday, we have done the first e-bill of lading in India. So it was for a shipper in Vizag, the reefer shipper in Vizag for the shipment of shrimps to United States. Of course, the container will take almost 40 days to reach, but with a click of a button, the bill of lading reached the consignee in a matter of 1 second. So things are changing, things are changing.
Okay, that is a very impressive growth. Even 2 years of time and 100 terminals all over the world joining the platform. Now tell me, there are a lot of digital platforms today are available in the marketplace, and when a user has to go on a digital platform or choose a digital platform, what would be unique for Tradelens? How do you differentiate?
The services that Tradelens is different from the digital platforms that are being offered by freight forwarding companies. So we need to make a clear distinction between the two. So we have a very specific service that is of networking and putting data for the use of different, members of the platform. It is a very secure, neutral platform where the chain of events is captured from the beginning to the end. And top of that, we have the facility of moving any document. It can be owned by anybody as long as they are the members of the network. They can move those documents, from one end to another. So this is really a very limited kind of sphere that we are focusing on for the sake of the industry, where we want to do away with the documentation and we want to digitize the flow of documentation and digitize the flow of data on what happened during the journey, when the journey of the container started from its point of origin to the point of discharge. Every place where the container is handled, you can get that data, which cannot be altered. And if it is altered, then that record is there, that what is altered, who has altered it. So stakeholders like customs, port authorities, railway companies, consignees, if they want to know where the cargo is, they can use this information for their benefit. The platforms such as these are very few. In fact, there is only one in the world that can be compared to us, which is developed in China. So I think that you're alluding to platforms which are offering freight rates or offering booking services. Those are not comparable to us. We are not in that space. And we don't offer any booking services through Tradelens of now.
So if someone wants to become a member, either a terminal or a carrier or even an exporter-importer, what is the process involved in this?
So there is the process is slightly different for network partners and slightly different for, let's say, customers. So network partners like ports, terminals, railway companies, customs, banks, we call them network partners. For them, the joining of the platform is absolutely free. So basically, they have to sign up our partner sharing agreement, and a service delivery agreement basically defines the obligations of Tradelens towards the network partner. And they have to agree on the terms and conditions that it's IBM Cloud Services and what are the obligations of IBM Cloud Services. So once they agree on that, we give them a sign up password, and they can just log into our system. So we are doing that with the banks now. It's quite easy and straightforward to do. Once they sign the agreement, it's a 5-minute job. And then when the customer, like a freight forwarder or a BCO, when they sign up, the procedure is pretty much the same. Also, the time taken is the same. But the difference is that we have to map their organization. So let's say if it's a BCO and the BCO says that the bill of lading should move from me to my bank, from my bank to my consignee's bank, from the consignee's bank to the consignee or to their freight forwarder instead of the consignee. We have to map all that. So that takes maybe 2 or 3 days to do, and then we are ready for moving the bill of lading on our platform. And of course, we have to deal with the carrier. So when we come to the carriers, the starting point was, of course, Maersk doing it on their own. Maersk, Safmarine, and Sealand. Their data is on our platform right now. Hamburg Sud has not yet joined, and they have, we're looking at the technology part out there. But if you look at the carriers, the other carriers, so we have something called a foundation carrier agreement. The carriers which have jointly agreed to sign up with Tradelens are the foundation carriers, and these are MSC, CMA, Hapag-Lloyd, ONE. This is the foundation carriers who have agreed to sign up with Tradelens. And by the end of this year, hopefully we will have that data on our platform. In addition to that, we have smaller carriers who have joined. We have regional carriers, we have feeder operators. We have some of the smaller global carriers who have joined, for example, like Zem. They have signed up, and their data is being now visible on the platform. PIL has signed up. So by the end of this year, almost 80% of India's export and import data can be visible on our platform. So when we have network partners like the ports or customs for that matter, they would have a lot of data that can flow into their systems. We can build integrators into their systems. We can build dashboards for them to show how, based on their, I'm specifically talking about customs now, what we have done with Customs of Netherlands, that we can create dashboards and we can look at their risk profile as to what cargo they consider as risky. And we are creating dashboards for them. So they have a visibility of a cargo that, that originated in Japan for, 25 days ago. They have full visibility. Why was it sitting in a transshipment port for longer than necessary? Whether that cargo should be, examined or not examined. These are the kind of things that we are able to, the Tradelens is able to enable people to do,
Does it mean that now different stakeholders use different softwares, different platforms in their businesses? So Tradelens can integrate with all of them, and then the visibility comes.
Absolutely. We can integrate with other softwares. We create that platform, that integrator, and we can do it.
Okay. You mentioned that joining the platform is absolutely free for a network operator and even customer. But does it mean that no commercials are involved?
So I said that it is free for the network partners, not for customers. So for commercial applications, such as with our let's say our subscription model for freight forwarders and for the BCOs, that is definitely a chargeable service.
Okay, excellent. So what are the challenges that you have faced in bringing customers on board to join as a members?
So we have very recently started approaching customers in India. We are having a launch in the month of August worldwide, which will mean that, the sales organization of AP Mall or Maersk will be meeting their customers and trying to see assess the need for e-bill of lading. Here in India, what we have done is basically approached customers who are shipping short sea shipments with us. So any cargo that takes less than 4 or 5 days to reach the destination, they are having a lot of issues with issuance of bill of ladings on time, whatever be the reason, and the cargo is accumulating detention at the destination port. So we have approached them. We have made a list of them, and we are seeing how we can help them. We have also approached a lot of freight forwarding companies. It's still very nascent. but we are talking to the top freight forwarding companies in India and making our presentations. The key is that, how do you articulate the value proposition to a freight forwarder? How do you articulate it to an NVOCC operator? How do you create a value proposition for a LCL consolidator? Every case is different, but everybody finds something of value in this platform. So it is still very new to the market. People are still trying to assess what they're going to get out of it and how they can monetize it. So we are at this stage now. I think by the end of this year, it will be a lot more clearer as to how it can be commercialized by us as well as by our customers towards their end customers. For BCO, it is very straightforward. It is very simple that they see the value, saving of time, saving of cost, security, and the productivity that goes, the visibility. So for BCOs, it is a straightforward thing. For freight forwarders and for NVOCC operators, we are still working with them to see how the value proposition can be carved out.
You mentioned that word security because usually the concern of many of our stakeholders in our industry is going digital. The willingness is coming now. The concern still remains about data security part of it. So how to assure them that the data is secure?
Yeah, so the technology is blockchain, and it inherently has its characteristic is that it is not an alterable technology. And once you map the organization, when you map the flow of data, it cannot be changed unless the owner or the authorized person authorizes that, and the authority remains with with the owner of the data. So it can be a BCO or it can be a forwarder that originally has been mapped by us. Will have to authorize any changes if there are any. So it is very, very secure. It is more secure than a paper document, which can be, replicated and printed maybe 1 or 2 times more than necessary. So once the owner has the key and the authority on the platform, the ownership of the document is with them, and it is up to them whether they want to transfer it to the next holder, and the next holder is defined. So if it says it has to go to a bank, it goes to that bank with a click of a button. So there is no courier service, no courier can be lost, or the courier cannot go to a bank and sit in the mail department or go on the wrong person's desk. So typically when I was speaking to one of the international banks as to how they see Tradelens, they said that it is going to save almost 1 week of delay when they deal from India to an international bank, and then finally the funds are released. It's 1 week of delay is being saved. So if you aggregate all this on a larger scale, there is a huge amount of saving in the global trade, expected by implementing a blockchain technology.
Maersk is a carrier, and also they have some of the terminals operated across the globe. So Maersk owning the platform doesn't in any way is a conflict of interest? Doesn't it come in the way of controlling the data?
So the data is actually owned by the owner of the data. It is not held by the platform. The platform will not be holding the data as such. It will be the property of the person who generates the data. We are just the carrier of that data, and the data will not remain with us for a long time unless there is specific agreement from the user that they want to store the data, and for that maybe there are separate protocols to be followed.
Okay.
So typically the data will come and it will just flow in and flow out of the platform.
Private player anyway will understand the value proposition of using platforms. What about government bringing customs on board? Country like India, how do you do that?
So we have made several presentations. We have made 3 or 4 presentations to the customs. We are in touch with Concor. We have made presentations to Concor as well. We are also in touch with IPA for seeing how we can latch on to the IPA network. So hopefully, we will be able to make a breakthrough. Maybe we haven't been able to do it as of now, but I think that the right people in government are looking at the value proposition. These things take time. It's a new concept, and being a private enterprise, the government authorities will take their time to assess whether the value proposition is, worth it, or how do they see it going forward in future, because there is a national logistics policy being drafted. So there are a lot of different issues to be looked at before they can decide on this platform.
Okay, as Director of South Asia for Tradelens, what are your plans for South Asia?
So the plans are actually in motion. Very simple. We want to increase our footprints. So currently, from East Coast of India, South India, West Coast of India, we have actually onboarded a lot of terminals. So, for example, Vizag, Ennore, Cochin, DPW. On the West Coast, we have APMT, GTI. We have Hazira of Adani. We have Pipavav of APMT. And then we have all the terminals in Mundra. There are 4 terminals, 3 are onboarded already. So by the end of this month, all these terminals are live on Tradelens. So any Maersk vessel calling, they will be able to see the information on a real-time basis. So hopefully, and then we are also starting with the inland depots. So we will start in-house with our own APMT inland depots, 7 depots. But if Concor comes on board, then it will be very, very good, because they have 50 ICDs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bimal Kanal, for sharing your perspectives on Tradelens. We wish you all the best with the initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. Thank you very much.